Hello, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're gonna be talking what's new at the drugstore. There's obviously a lot of new releases all the time at the drugstore, but I'm trying to be more conscious of what I buy. And if I see it online and I know it's not something that I'm gonna like, I go ahead and pass on it. I wanna continue reviewing new releases for you guys so you know whether or not things are worth buying, but I also don't want to just buy products to buy products that I know I'm not gonna like. So if I'm not reviewing it, chances are I've seen it and it just doesn't appeal to me. But these are products that were either sent to me or looked really appealing to me. And there are some major hits and major misses. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, first up is something that I have already talked about in my Black Friday guide, but I wanted to mention it quickly because it is a new drugstore release. The Naturism Dew Glow Moisturizer with SPF 50. Story short, I am a big fan of this product. It's like an all-in-one product. If you want one step in your morning routine, this is all you need. It's been sold out for quite a while. They did a restock, it's sold out again, so hopefully they'll restock it again. I would recommend this mainly for normal to dry skin, leaning towards dry, especially in the winter months. This would be a great product to wear under your makeup. Make sure that you let this completely set down for like 10 or 15 minutes before going in with your makeup, because it starts off feeling really heavy and then it does set down to a really nice silky finish. Perfect for makeup application. My guess would be that they release this dewy version first, but that they will eventually also release a more matte or normal option as well. So I'd hold out for that if you have oily skin. But again, for normal to dry skin, on days where I don't want to wear makeup, I have been reaching for this quite a bit. Perfect product for travel because it's a one-step morning routine. All right, moving on to products that I have not yet spoken about. Let's start off with some blushes. Blush number one is this by Essence. A lot of the times I don't really buy into these collaborations. I just feel like they look a little bit, I don't want to say childish, but I kind of want to say childish. But if the product inside looks appealing enough to me, I will purchase it, and that was the case with this one. This is the Villains blush in the shade Disney Villains Evil Queen Maxi Blush, Love at First Bite. It actually comes with a pretty decently sized mirror and a very big pan. In here it says Evil Queen, Love at First Bite. Just checked Ulta's website, which is where I got this relatively recently, and it looks like it's gone and now it's sold out on their website, which is so unfortunate. This was $6.99, maybe they'll restock it, although I do think it was limited edition. But I'm a huge fan of this blush. That's such a bummer that like one of the best products that I was gonna talk about is no longer available. It has a mirror. Essence blushes are some of my absolute favorites. This is no exception. It's this beautiful peachy pink shade. It's a two-tone blush, so you can see in the center is a slightly different shade and slightly different consistency. There's a little bit of a sheen to it. I'm not gonna go on about this because apparently it is hard to find, but if you were lucky enough to get your hands on this, I think it's a beautiful, beautiful blush. All right, next up is another limited edition. This one is still available on ColourPop's website. And this is part of the ColourPop Mariale, I hope I'm saying that right, collaboration. There were lots of super fun colors in this collaboration, but the one product that really stood out to me the most was this blush. This is the blush in the shade Just Plan, and this is a Super Shock Matte Blush. So as you can see, it is red, like a true red. I've seen people use red blushes, but I just didn't know if it would work on me. What I liked is that you can use the tiniest amount of this and it really just makes your entire face look alive. I think this is really beautiful, especially for medium to deeper skin tones. On me, like I said, a little bit goes a super long way. And I just kind of put this on the apples of my cheeks to enhance the Essence blush that I had already applied. And it really did, like I said, make my face look even more alive. But I used a tiny bit of this. Super pigmented, long lasting, and surprisingly wearable, even though in the pan it looks quite intimidating. Right, next up we have an eyeshadow palette that I recently tried. This is the Hard Candy Marquee Naked and Famous. 15 multi-dimensional shades, matte, satin, shimmer, and glitter. This is what the colors look like. So these are relatively new. They're not brand new. I think they were released a few months ago, but they're new to me. This was the first time I've ever tried it. And the first time that I used it, I used the matte, satin, and shimmer shades. And then today I used it again and I used the glitter shade. So these are under $10, which is really great, especially if you compare it to other eyeshadow palettes from the drugstore, like Milani palettes that retail for significantly more, with not quite as many shades. This one has 15 shades and 4 different finishes. And let's go ahead and start with the matte shades. So the matte shades I found to be quite blendable, but they did kick back quite a bit of product. Quite a lot of fallout within the pan. It's not a huge deal. I didn't experience fallout on my face, but there was a lot of kickback on the matte shades, comparing it to like Milani or ColourPop. But as far as the satin and shimmer shades go, very impressive. Usually when I'm using like a ColourPop palette, if I use like a flat packing brush, they're not quite as pigmented as I want them to be, and I end up having to use my finger. I used a flat packing brush with this shimmer shade right here called In the Studio, and it went on extremely pigmented. I can only imagine if I used my finger, but I love the fact that I didn't have to, and that the brush was able to pick up the pigment. I think that speaks to the quality. Today I used the glitter. This is the shade Electric, this middle one right here, and I am super impressed by this, you guys. Just used my finger to apply it. I don't have any glitter glue on. Zero glitter got anywhere on my face. I did my eyes last, which was not the best decision, but it worked out, and it did not transfer whatsoever. It's not a glittery mess, but it looks like a loose glitter on the eyelids. So really impressed, especially with the glitter and the shimmer shades with this palette. I like that it has 4 different finishes. I like that it has a kind of inner corner highlight color as well as a matte white, has matte black, matte browns. The one shade I wish that this had was more of a neutral transition shade, a neutral light transition shade. This is the best you're gonna get, this orange color right here, but it's very warm toned. In order to get the color that I wanted, I had to mix it in with this brown to kind of create a more neutral look, but that kind of made it a darker transition shade than I wanted it to be. So the only shade I really feel like it's missing is a neutral everyday transition color. But outside of that, I am really, really impressed by this. And I feel like hard candy eyeshadows are slowly coming onto my radar. I don't know what I was doing for the longest time, but really affordable and really high quality. These and their small little 4 eyeshadow pans are really, really good if you come across them in Walmart. All right, next up, I tried 3 different eyeliners. Let's go ahead and start with the first one, which is the Revlon ColorStay Sharp Line. This is your typical felt tip eyeliner. This retails for $9, and my thoughts on this is it's okay. I don't love it, I don't hate it. It's just no, it's not a standout product. It almost feels like a Sharpie when you're applying it. I personally prefer the more like brush tips where they glide on a little bit easier, like the Physicians Formula Eye Booster, where it sort of feels more like a liquid than it feels like a marker. Getting the line for the cat eye wasn't very easy. It did last all day. It didn't smudge on me. That said, Essence makes a very similar product, felt tip eyeliner, for less money. I want to say Essence is like $4, so I just don't see a need for this one when that one exists for less money. All right, next up is Milani. Milani released this new Stay Put Infinite Liner liquid eyeliner. Milani eyeliners have been a favorite of mine forever, and I was really, really excited about this one. But I'm sad to say that this was a huge disappointment for me. This is unfortunately very goopy. I don't know a better word to use than goopy. It's almost as if you left it open for too long and it's like partially dried. It was on very thick, and the consistency of it is so goopy that you can't get a really fine line. It just, so much product gets deposited. Even though the brush on this is really fine, so much product comes out all at once. But this retails for $10.99. A life-proof eyeliner designed for all-day wear, 24-hour long-wear liquid eyeliner, waterproof, sweat-proof, flexible precision blush that provides control and a smooth line with a bold, opaque formula. As much as I really wanted to love this, and I really typically love Milani eyeliners, this just completely missed the mark for me. It's possible that I just got a bad one. And then last but not least is the Hard Candy Waterproof Felt Tip Eyeliner. It's the one that I'm wearing today. This one retails for $6, so a better price point than the Revlon one. The tip on this is a little bit shorter, so that's a good or a bad thing depending on what you find easier to apply. I personally prefer a longer tip so that I can kind of like glide it on. This one feels more like a pen. It didn't glide on super easily, but to be fair, this was the first time I used it, and I'm using it over all this glitter, so I'm not giving it the best chance. So I'm gonna continue to use this, see if I change my mind on it. But again, kind of like the Revlon one, these felt tip eyeliners are just a dime a dozen, and unless they do something fantastic, they just don't stand out to me anymore. All right, next up is a new lipstick from one of my absolute favorite brands for lipstick, and it's these L'Oreal Color Riche Intense Volume Matte Lipstick. These on Ulta's website are $13.99, pretty steep. They come in a lot of beautiful colors, and they claim that they last for up to 16 hours for an all-day matte finish that does not look flat. Saturated shade flatters a variety of skin tones. Color doesn't smudge, bleed, migrate, or feather. Infused with hyaluronic acid, and offers a slim bullet for precise application. My thoughts on this is that it is a beautiful lipstick formula. I have the shade Les Rosy Confident, and I really, really like it. It does last quite a while on me, but definitely not 16 hours. I would say maybe 4 4 hours, which is good for a regular lipstick. It's not a liquid lipstick. If I'm comparing this to two of my favorite lipstick formulas, the Milani matte lipsticks, specifically the shade Peony, which is very similar to this, and the L'Oreal Les Nues collection in the shade New Confident. As much as I like this, it doesn't beat either of those in my opinion. The texture of it is extremely similar to Milani, but I wouldn't say it's better. I'd say it's just very comparable. And then the L'Oreal Les Nues collection, the reason I love those so much is because it's more of like a satin matte. It doesn't look quite this matte. It looks more like a traditional lipstick, but it also stains your lips. So once the lipstick fades, there is some color left behind, which I did not find to be the case with this one. So as much as I like this product, I have nothing bad to say about it. It doesn't beat those two formulas for me. And again, if I'm recommending something to you guys, it's because it beats out the competition. And this one is on par with the competition, but I would still pick one of those two formulas over this one. Last but not least is not a new product, but it's new to me. And it's the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Longwear Setting Spray. 12-hour wear with cucumber extract. It's a weightless, long-wearing formula infused with coconut extract to help boost hydration. It locks and sets in makeup. I decided to apply this just to the right side of my face, and I'm gonna see if I can find a picture. I was trying to do a video while my kids were in the bath, so it was like a little chaotic. I'm gonna see if I can show you the difference between my right side of my face and my left side of my face at the end of the day. I hadn't looked at myself in the mirror for quite a while. Again, it was like bath time, so we had gotten through dinner and crazy witching hour with the kids, and then bath time. We were in the bathroom, I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my gosh, the right side of my makeup looks so much better than the left side of my makeup, like noticeably better. My blush on the right side of my face was completely intact, whereas on the left side of my face it was like gone. So this was like a sleeper product for me. The mister on this is so great. I'm gonna apply some today just so you guys can see the mist again. It smells like cucumber, which I am here for. I love the smell of cucumber, the taste of cucumber. If I'm ordering a cocktail, it is some sort of a cucumber cocktail. I'm big on cucumbers. But this might be one of my new top favorite setting sprays ever. Very impressed. I'm gonna keep playing around with it, see if it was like a fluke, but first impression, fantastic, made a massive difference. All right, and that is everything. Those are the products that really stood out to me that I really wanted to get my hands on and try out. I hope you guys found this helpful. If there are specific products that are really interesting you that you want to get my perspective on, just leave me a comment below, and if there's enough interest, I will definitely include it in my next one of these videos. But these are the products that really have grabbed my attention over the last few weeks. But thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one.